Settle down, Sky. Let's make a start. Okay. Well, first time using YouTube for this, so it might take a few people a bit of time to find it. Let's just make a start. Pretty good. Hello. I can see there's people here, can't see who it is, so just say hi in the chat so I know who you are. And if you've tuned in before, or it's the first time. I'm going to spin this around a moment. Chat to you guys. There we go. I'll face the other way. Some slides. There we go. Hello. How are we? So, wow, 11 of you. Nice. Okay, if you haven't tuned in before, I've been doing this on YouTube for a few months now. I'm making this shift over to doing it on... Sorry, I've been doing it on Instagram. Making the shift over to YouTube. This is going to be all much nicer with different camera angles. So I've got the cameras mostly set up. I've got a couple of teething problems. So I've got a camera over the chemistry, cameras on the enlargers, so you can see properly what's happening. Why is my screen red? I'm in the darkroom. So it's not that the screen is red, it's actually that I'm in red light. So we're going to be doing some printing traditionally here. But yes, so these are some photos that I made a couple of weeks ago down in the West Country. I've not tried printing this one yet. So this is from a large format, so it's a huge negative. Opening a new box of paper. No worries, Ollie. And cut this down in size. So yeah, so the plan is every month, normally on a Thursday, last Thursday of the month, I am going to be printing in here live, and then if you've got questions, I will try and answer them. Do my very best to, anyway. And yeah, so we're just really sort of showing the process, chatting about darkroom printing, analog photography in general. And one of the first things you need to do when you print is make a test strip. So I've cut a bit of paper to the size, just a little strip of paper in here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to expose this to like just a couple of seconds, and then I'm going to cover most of the paper up, just leaving a little bit showing. So now everything's been covered, it's only had 2 seconds of light. That bit there's had 4 seconds. So move it again. 6, 8, 10. Okay. So this bit here has had 2 seconds. This bit here has now had 12 seconds, and everything in between. So as I say, this will have nice camera angles moving on, but for now we're just using my phone. Sort of works. And then the images just started to appear. And what I'm looking for is a good exposure, so a good balance of shadows and highlights. And we're getting that shift going on. So part of the reason I'm doing these prints is one, for myself, but also I've got a friend who runs a gallery, and I'm thinking about trying to get some prints in there to sell. So give this a moment in here, and I'll turn the white light back on. Okay, that's long enough for just having a quick look. Okay. Okay. Right. So here we go. So 2 seconds here, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12 seconds down this end. So you see how dark it gets really, really quickly. Down here is far too dark. This is 2 seconds. I'm losing a little bit of detail here in the highlights. So for me, I'm not happy enough with that. I can play around with the contrast as well. That's getting a little bit too dark. So 2 seconds, 3 seconds. I need more time. I'm going to make another one of those. But I'm just going to reduce the amount of time. So you reduce the amount of light coming through the enlarger. Give myself more time to work with. Let's go for that. Paper. Okay, let's try again. So I'm going to start this a little bit longer. Start it at 6 seconds. So I made it darker, so I know I need more time anyway. Actually, no. It started 2 seconds. Let's keep things simple. So 2 seconds. Cover it up. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Get another one in there, up to 14 seconds. Let's see how this one goes. So chemistry and the film I bought at Analogue Wonderland, which is one of the big film retailers here in the UK. I've been using Analogue Wonderland for a long time now, for pretty much all the film I buy. Okay, so this is 14 seconds up here, 2 seconds here. So this is a big improvement in terms of tonal range compared to the last test strip. And one of the reasons I like to have more time is there's some techniques that I can do to balance areas of shadow and areas of light. So things called dodging and burning, and you just need time to do it. So if my exposure time was going to be 2 seconds, it's just not long enough to get the stuff done I need to do. So I always try and get a starting point of about 10 seconds ish to make a half decent print. And as I say, I want these to sell in a gallery. So I don't just want a nice print, I want to get a superb print from this. Okay. Let's have a look and see. So 2, 4. So what I'm actually kind of looking at these shadows of the open doorway. 6 is a bit washed out in those shadows. 8, it starts to get better. So 10, and it looks darker in here under this light than it would do naturally. So 10. I'm gonna get 12 seconds. do. Okay. How nice print to try and make this. Get a fresh piece of paper. Okay. There we go. Yeah, so next month when I do this, hopefully, I'm now a lot closer. I'm going to be having it with a camera looking directly down on this and a camera looking directly down on the chemistry. So I'm not just moving my phone around the room. Hang on, I said 12 seconds, didn't I? 12 seconds. What am I doing? I'm printing. So this is a traditional darkroom. The paper is light sensitive, made of silver. And what I'm now doing is I'm exposing it to light. There we go. For 12 seconds, and the time will turn off. And then we'll move it from here over to the chemistry, which is the other side of the room. And then we'll see my favourite thing in photography, which is the moment I put a plain piece of paper into a relatively clear liquid. And we see an image appear. I've been doing this for about 20 years now, and I still get just excited as it starts to. Oh, here it comes. So I'm printing to a really big border because of the idea of framing it. If I was just doing nice prints, I would probably go with a thin border. Okay, so straight away I'm seeing this side is a little bit lighter, needs a bit more time. Not massive more, the sun was coming in on that side, but I am losing a little bit of detail in that top corner. So I'm going to try and pull some of that back a bit as well in the next version. I'm really pleased with that, actually. Hi, Annabella. No investigation. This is just art. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do another one, and this side, I'm just gonna reduce the time on it just slightly, just to even it out a little bit. So that's 8 by 6 inches roughly on a 10 by 8 piece of paper. Yeah, and that's in there as well. Yeah, no, my wife does say the same thing about dark rooms and horror movies and so on. I think it's unfair. The dark room's a lovely place, but yeah, the low light, the sounds, I suppose it's quite good as a creepy setting. Just a little bit. Okay. Right. Let's do another one. And actually, which side was it? It was side. This size. Okay. Let's go again. Babe, I'm actually using the mount from the inside of a picture frame here, so I'll just get everything the right size, nice and centered. It's a lazy way of doing it, but it works. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, on this side, just block the light out a little bit. Let's see if that makes any improvement. So the chemistry is not anything weird or complex. Easily to find if you want to do this yourself. My enlargers, the one I'm using, I've got two enlargers in here. The one I'm using today, I bought second hand for about 300 quid. It's probably worth a couple of grand though, new. The chemistry is quite cheap. It's about £20 a bottle, and the bottle, 1 litre bottle will make 5 litres of chemistry. I think it, maybe it's 10 litres. Can't remember now. Mixed it a while ago. And it lasts a long time. So yeah, got a bottle. So this is developer. All the chemistry, the names make perfect sense really. So you've got developer, and then from here I'm going to move it over to the next one, which is stop, which just simply stops the development from continuing. And then the one after that fixes the image so it doesn't fade in the light. That's called fix. They're really, really sensible and kind of obvious names. Okay, that's. I actually prefer the original one. Yeah, the most expensive thing I need in here is the paper, because the paper is made of silver. So a box this size, 50 sheets this size, is about £40 thereabouts. And I'm using Ilford, but there are cheaper ones. Foma do really good papers that are quite cheap. Kentmere stuff's really good as well. Yeah. There it is. So from here, that moves over. And then in the fix, it stays in there for about 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. And I'll move it into a wash bath. There we go. Right, I'm going to do a couple more of that one, I think, because the great thing about printing is you can sell more than one copy of a print. So let's do that. So you guys photographers, or you just randomly going through YouTube? How do you find me? Yeah, his chemistry is starting to be a bit on the slow. I think I need to mix some new stuff next week. Move some of these into the wash as well. How many is that? 1, 2, 3. Do 2 more of this one, and I'll swap the negative. And even though I'm printing loads of versions of the same image, each one is unique. There's differences in terms of, no, this one I've done a little bit of dodging and burning. The amount of time it's in the chemistry is not exact. It's until I'm happy with it. So sometimes I leave it a little bit longer, sometimes a little bit shorter. And all of this affects how the image looks. So this one, I let this area go a little bit lighter. Let's go from there. I shall show you this. That one round. Okay. Yeah. So largely the same, but like this one here, I've lightened this edge, especially this corner, compared to this one. So here, this one falls into darkness just a little bit more. Not a big difference, but just little changes you can make as you go along. Okay. I'll do one more of this one, and then we'll swap the image to, or maybe one of the beach at the actually. So there's a couple of people watching. Say hi if you haven't already. Just so I can see who it is, really. Let's see if it's someone I know, someone who hasn't tuned in before. Yeah, last one is this one, and I'll swap the negative. we go. Happy with that. So once that one's in the fix, I'm going to sort of negative over. I don't know if you can hear this. My dog's in here with me. She just started snoring. Okay. So these are all my negatives just from this year. Where is it? Oh, you woken up? Hello. Nearly there. Horrible noise. So these images, I've not printed any of these before tonight. So they are much mystery to me. As they are to you. Bigger. Focus fine now. Right. Very close. I think that's right. Say a moment. Okay, so new image, new test strip. Wider one. So this was similar kind of area. It was a different day. It was different weather. The light was very different from the previous one. And the landscape is kind of the lands and the sky are very similar tones. So it's a very different style of print. Let's see how this goes. So I'm going to take the time back down to 2 seconds. Okay. 2 seconds.